going on, y'all? We back at it again. Another hot review for you. Drams on deck. Today, we got another expression in the building. Today, we got the OG Bowmore 15 in the building. Yes, sir. Now, this one right here is a very OG distillery, meaning that this is the very first Islay distillery on Scotland. So Islay, the area of Scotland, this was the very first distillery. It said it started in 1779. So that's a true OG. That's a long time. Give them a round of applause. That is a long ass time, from 1779. But that just goes to show the history of Scotland, how they have of making this, just like we have our history. I mean, I'm sure there's some bourbon that may go back, but I don't know if it goes back to 1700s. I didn't do the research on that bourbon, but I will say this. This is definitely an OG well one. And this one right here, you know, it's a 15-year. It's 12 years, and it's aged 12 years in bourbon. And then 3 years. The last 3 years is in sherry cask. So 15 years, 43%. And I actually got this one on a discount. Normally, this Bowmore 15, it ranges. I've seen it in the low hundreds. I've seen it like, you know, cheaper than that. I actually got this Bowmore for, believe it or not, it was like around 50 bucks. I got it. It was at a military exchange. It was on clearance. It was like the last bottle they had. And I didn't know a whole lot about it. I researched a little bit in the store. A lot of times if I'm trying to buy something new and I don't know much about it, I just Google it or research it, look at the quick review. But by and large, it seemed legit, so I went and got it. This was probably a year ago. So I saw it on clearance. I wasn't even thinking nothing about it. I just happened just to be waiting in line. The line was way back, and I was looking on the shelf and saw the clearance ones, and the guy that I know there, he's like, yo, check out some stuff on the clearance rack. And I saw the Bowmore 15, and it was marked down to 50 bucks. And I'm like, well, damn, okay. Because like I said, normally, you know, at the Bowmore right here, that normally goes for a ballpark of 100. You know, maybe a little cheaper. So, but it's in the $100 range. So I got it for 50 bucks a year ago, clearance. Bowmore 15 in the building. Like I said, 12 years in bourbon cask, last 3 in sherry cask. And like I said, this one right here, I definitely it was just kind of like, hey, you know, I'm in the right place, right time. Let's just check it out, see what we got. So that's why we here. Bowmore 15. Check out the color on this now. You can definitely, I guess you can see the sherry class influence, because it's definitely dark. Definitely has a darker color to it, more like a dark syrupy color. And it's you know what I'm saying, it definitely is peaty, but it's I think it's a pretty nice peat. It's not super aggressive, but I guess we'll dive more into the notes. So 43%. And right here, I like the name. They call it the darkest. I like that, the darkest, because it is dark. So I just like that name. That being said, let's jump on those noses and see what we got. Pick up some raisins, some sweetness to it, like almost some Butterworth, some syrupy type of smell. I get just a faint hit of the smoke. It's kind of muted on the nose. I mean, you can smell it, but it's not very prevalent as much as I figured it would be. But all in all, it's very pleasant. Like I said, like maybe a sweet raisin syrup, a little bit of oak, and mild smoke. What's going on this palate? First shot holds my palate up. I'm making it sensitized. But that first sip wasn't bad though. It's not like I said, super aggressively peated. So it has peat in it, but the peat is kind of muted a bit. You know it's there, but it's not the most prevalent flavor profile. With that being said, let me take one more sip. Second sip was in there. Surprised me. I remember it tasting that damn good. Today, okay. But the second one was in there. Sipping crunchers. But anyway, you pick up the syrup, like I said, kind of like a nice coated syrup. And the viscosity is pretty decent. It's not super high, but you get a nice coated viscosity. The peat smoke is there, but it's very muted though. I don't really pick up ash on it. It's more as like the campfire light smoke. That's what I get up. Light smoke and the oak, just regular oak. And then you get the sherry. That sherry is definitely in there. You get that sweet sherry, a little small hint of some fig or raisin on there, and it's nice. It's not bad. Only thing I would wish for is a higher ABV, because I mean the flavors is there, but they're not like just turned up like I would prefer in a higher proof. Like if you had something 55% or higher, how the flavors, you know what I'm talking about. Those who drink barrel strength or cask strength, you know what I'm talking about. We drink the high ABVs, how the flavors are just popping, they just bang. The flavors are there, but they don't bing. I like that. Woo! I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I mean, some of my friends started to call me bougie, but I don't think it's. I just like what I like. So don't get me wrong, the flavors are good, but I think you know, my one critique would be I wish the flavors are a little bit turned up. It tastes, I ain't gonna say watered down, but the flavors are very neutral, where I like them to be at a higher optimal flavor for me. Like the higher ABV, the flavors stick to you more. Like I said, and then it's not super heavy, super peated. So you know, my peat drinkers know when you drink that peat, how it lingers a lot. You know what I mean? When you drink something that has a nice punch of peat, you can even after you get done drinking, you can probably taste the peat for another 10 minutes or so, just the aftertaste of the peat. With this one, I don't think you're going to get that as much because, like I said, the peat is there, but it's not like a very large amount. So it's there, you get it, but it's maybe, I would say, slightly on the gentle side. But the PX is there. I don't know exactly PX. I think it's, make sure I tell you the right thing. It is sherry cask, but the peat is not the peat as it was. The sherry is Oloroso. So it's not PX, it's Oloroso. Oloroso is a very good sherry. It's not as sweet as PX, but it's Oloroso sherry. So, but 3 years in Oloroso sherry, and I think and it also has like a little slightly dry, slightly dry. So so the finish is kind of medium. I give it medium, light medium, and a slight dry finish. But you know, it goes to show a little bit more higher ABV. It tends to linger longer for me. Take one more sip, we can get to the scoring. It's good, man. It's good. Like I said, one thing that I would take from it, I slightly wish, like I said, the ABV and the peat was more turned up. But it's still a pretty good dram. Now, that being said, would I pay the normal price, which would be like $100 or so, after the fact? Now that I know what it is, this is pretty much almost gone. So if I happen to go to, you know, my local store and saw it for $110, would I like it for that price? I probably wouldn't. If I had to score this 1 to 10, 10 being the best for me, Bowmore 15, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's good. You know, it's something that you can get. That's a good drink. I almost would say, if you like a peat, like a mild peat, it could be a mild peat, you know, comfort drink. But the one problem with that is the price tag. I mean, and even the Bowmore 15, you don't see the Bowmore 15. It's accessible. Don't get me wrong. You shouldn't have to go higher. You know, go through a long, wild Easter egg hunt to find this Bowmore 15. So it should be. I wouldn't say every store carries it, but it should be accessible enough that you don't have to go out of your way. That being said, for the normal price tag of close to $100, do I think, or would I pay that? Probably not after the fact, because I know it is good. It's a 7. I wouldn't give it anything above a 7, which is still good. The 7 is above average, so it's above average. It's definitely, you know, decent. It's respectable. Definitely, it definitely is. But I think it's for the price tag is what in my opinion, would keep it from being a comfort drink. Because normally when you pay $100 or more, that's not necessarily something that you drink every day, price tag wise. Flavor profile wise, it could be the case, but for $100, most of us, I ain't gonna say, I can't speak for your pockets, but everybody doesn't know to drink a $100 bottle of whiskey for a comfort drink. Normally those like $30 or something like that. You know what I mean? Or something that's on Crown Royal price tag. That being said, very good. If it was on clearance again, $50, then yeah. But for $100, no, I wouldn't spend $100. I would give it no more than a 7 out of a 10. I'm not gonna knock it down necessarily. I mean, it's 15 years. I mean, I guess I probably could knock it down a half a notch only because of the price tag. But I will say I have seen it slightly cheaper. It ranges. I've seen, like I said, I've seen it $100. I've seen it some places for, like I said, for about $80. To me, an ideal price tag for this would be in the $70 price range for 15 years, something like that. So, you know, long story short, you're gonna pay, because I got it at a discount, I'm happy with it. But if I had to pay $100, you know, yeah, it would bring it, I think, a slightly overpriced. So it would, you know, to me, all around the score would be 6.5 based upon the price tag. But the flavor profile is on its own, excluding the price, is 7. So I think, you know, when you package it up all together, 6.5, still above average, is good. I enjoy it, definitely do. So the Bowmore 15, man, like I said, you get the sherry, it has a nice viscosity to it. You get a little syrupy on there. You get the oak, very light peat on it, very light. You know, so it's there, and it goes together pretty good. Like I said, but you know, some lower ABV, so the flavors aren't turned up. So that the cons will be the finish is not quite what I like. The flavors aren't turned up as much as I like, and I wish it was a little bit more peaty. But like I said, you know, you make your decision. Maybe try it as a pour. So I think if you could go to like a Ruth Chris or a Morton Steakhouse or just a good high, you know, seafood restaurant, you know, mess up maybe slightly above a caliber of a Red Lobster, you know what I mean? Whatever in your region, you could potentially find a Bowmore 15 there. I think I could have sworn I go to Capitol Grill a lot. I don't know if you guys are steak eaters, but I love Capitol Grill. It's a regional steakhouse. And anyway, I believe I've seen the Bowmore 15 there once, and I believe I've seen the ones that I'm not. In addition to, I have as you can tell, a love affection for nice spirits, but also I have 2 other vices that I like. I like shoes, and I like going out. I love eating and traveling. But so I have other vices. So if I have a spirit review, I should do a shoe review because I got a lot of shoes too. But anyway, back to the point. I went to I want to say it was one of those Brazilian steakhouses, and when, you know, bring the meat to your table, I saw it there one time, but I don't remember the exact price. But since I go to Capitol Grill more frequently, I want to say that the Bowmore 15, something around there, is something around $30 a shot, somewhere around there. So I don't think it's no more than $30 a shot. So I still think that's overpriced. But I'm just saying, rather a $30 shot than you buy, you know, $100 shot. If it's something that you may not prefer, it just depends. But all in all, like I said, man, it's a solid. Like I said, all around, it's a solid 6.5 altogether. Based, I'm putting the price profile in there. It's still good. I enjoy it. Bowmore 15 on deck. Drams on deck. If you haven't already, please check out the Instagram page. It's still growing. I have a lot of spirits. Some that I have and say have not reviewed. So, you know, if you got time, check out the Instagram. If you have any questions or concerns, man, definitely hit me up in my inbox, man. I'm definitely always checking back with y'all for sure. So it's like a big whole community. You know what I'm saying? I give you information, you give it back to me. We circulate it around like a newspaper. You dig? That's how we all come up. You know what I'm saying? So if there's some sales going on that I think my people want to know, I put it out there, let y'all know. Like I said, so hope the review is good for you. Got something out of it. Till then, signing off. Drams on deck. Yes, sir.